Meet James. He's 34 years old, works a 9 to 5 that barely covers his bills, and has been dreaming of starting his own business for years. Not a tech startup, not a franchise, but a chicken farm. He has exactly $500 in a savings envelope. His family thinks he's made a mistake. His co-workers laugh when he told them. But 12 months later, James generated over $2,400 in profit from his backyard, working just a few hours a week. This is not a fantasy. This video will show you exactly how he did it. Every dollar spent, every mistake made, every egg counted. If you stay until the end, you'll see the full breakdown, startup costs, weekly income projections, and the one modern tool that changed everything for him in month 3. Let's start from zero.
Before we go any further, if you're finding this valuable, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. Videos like this take days to research and build, and your support is what makes the next one possible. Now, let's get into the money.
The biggest lie about poultry farming is that you need a lot of land, a lot of money, and a lot of experience. You need none of those things to start. You just need a plan. Before we talk money, we need to talk mistakes. Because the fastest way to lose your $500 is to skip this part. These are the 5 errors that kill most beginner poultry farms in the first 90 days. Mistakes 1. Buying too many birds too soon. Beginners overbuy because the math looks better at scale. But more birds equals more feed, more medicine, more space, and more catastrophic loss if disease hits. Start with 50 birds maximum. Mistakes 2. Ignoring biosecurity from day one. One sick visitor or contaminated tool can wipe out your entire flock. Newcastle disease and gumboro can spread within 48 hours. Designate footwear, limit access, and quarantine new birds for 7 days minimum. Mistakes 3. Skipping the vaccination schedule. Many beginners skip vaccines to save $10 and lose $200 in birds. We'll cover the exact vaccination timeline in this video. Don't skip it. Mistakes 4. No record keeping. If you don't track feed consumption, egg production, and mortality, you can't know if you're profitable. James almost quit in month 2 because he didn't realize his numbers were actually good. A simple spreadsheet saves farms. Mistakes 5. Wrong breed for the wrong purpose. Broilers grow fast and give you meat. Layers give you eggs for 18+ months. Dual-purpose breeds do both, but neither as efficiently. Know your market before you buy a single chick. James made mistake number 4. In month 1, he had no idea whether he was losing or making money. Once he fixed that, everything changed. We'll come back to his exact tracking method in segment 5. Here is exactly how to spend $500 to set up a functional 50-bird layer flock. We're choosing layers. Hens that produce eggs, because they generate recurring income every single week. Unlike broilers, which are a single cash-out event, James used a split 30 layer hens for eggs and 20 broiler chicks for a one-time meat sale in month 2 to help cover ongoing costs. Smart. Let's break it down. Day-old layer chicks 30. Point-of-lay pullets cost more. DOC chicks at $0.80 each give better ROI at this budget $24. Day-old broiler chicks 20. Cobb 500 or Ross 308 breeds. Fast-growing, market-ready by week 6 to $820. Housing/pen construction DIY wooden frame plus wire mesh plus corrugated iron roofing. 12 by 6 foot space adequate for 50 birds $120. Feeders and drinkers set. 2 tube feeders plus 2 bell drinkers. Avoid manual watering. It wastes time and spreads disease $22. Starter feed 25 kilograms times 2 bags. Week 1 to 4 nutrition. Critical growth window. Don't substitute with table scraps at this stage $40. Grower feed 25 kilograms times 2 bags. Week 5 to 16 for layers. Week 3 to 6 for broilers $36. Layer mash 25 kilograms times 2 bags. Switch layers of layer mash at 18 weeks. Calcium boost for shell quality $38. Vaccination kit Newcastle, Lesotho, Gumboro IBD, fowl pox. Full schedule detail below $28. Vitamins and electrolytes Vitalite or similar. Critical during first week and after vaccination stress $12. Antibiotics preventive. Oxytetracycline or enrofloxacin. Use only under veterinary guidance. One course budgeted $15. Bedding slash with shavings 5 bags deep litter material. Deep litter reduces ammonia, disease, and heating costs $10. Brooding lamp and bulb heat lamp for chicks. Maintain 32 degrees Celsius in week 1. Reduce 3 degrees C/week until ambient temp $18. Nest boxes 3 units DIY. Needed from week 18. 1 box per 5 hens minimum to reduce broken eggs $12. Miscellaneous / contingency zip ties, disinfectant spray, notebook, basic tools $15. Total startup investment $410. Reserve fund buffer for emergencies $90 remaining. James came in at $410 and kept $90 in reserve. That buffer saved him in week 3 when 6 of his broilers got a respiratory infection and he needed medication fast. Always keep 15 to 20% in reserve. Always. Day 1. Administer vitamins and electrolytes in drinking water. Maintain brooder temperature at 32 degrees Celsius. Do not vaccinate on arrival day. Birds are stressed from transport. Day 5 to 7. Gumboro IBD first dose. Via drinking water. IBD destroys the immune system. Birds that get it before vaccination are permanently compromised. This is non-negotiable. Day 10 to 14. Newcastle disease in DeLaSota, first dose. Eye drop method is most effective at this age. Newcastle kills up to 100% of unvaccinated flocks within 3 days. Day 18 to 21. Gumboro, second dose. Repeat via drinking water. Booster critical for lasting immunity. Add vitamins to water 24 hours post-vaccination. Week 4, Newcastle. Second dose of soda. Via drinking water. Remove water 2 hours before dosing for maximum uptake. This is also a good time to deworm if birds show poor feathering or slow weight gain. Week 8, Fowlpox vaccine. Wing web stab method. Fowlpox spreads via mosquitoes. If you're in a high mosquito area, this is critical. Check the stab site at day 7 for a scab, confirming the vaccine took. Week 16, Newcastle. Third dose. Indiclone 30 or Hitchner B1. Prelay booster. Layers under production stress are more susceptible. This dose protects your flock through the high production period. Every 3 months, ongoing Newcastle booster for layers. Ongoing cost. Approximately $4, $6 per quarter for a 30-bird flock. Factor this into your monthly operating budget. Modern tool highlight. Automatic nipple drinker system. James installed a simple gravity-fed nipple drinker line. In week 3, total cost $18. The payoff was huge. 0 water spillage, a leading cause of coccidiosis, consistent hydration, and 30 fewer minutes of labor per day. At scale, a 30-bird nipple system pays for itself within 2 weeks in litter savings and disease prevention alone. If you buy one piece of equipment beyond basics, make it this. Quick pause. If you made it this far, you're serious about this. Share this video with one person you know who's been thinking about starting a farm. They'll thank you later. Now here's when the money actually starts. Beyond vaccines, watch for these 3 warning signs every morning. Birds bunching together, chilling or respiratory distress, runny droppings, coccidiosis, or bacterial infection, and reduced feed intake, almost always the first sign of illness. Catch it in 24 hours and treatment is cheap. Miss it for 72 hours and you may lose the flock. This is the question everyone asks first, and it's the right one to ask. When will I see money? The honest answer. Your broilers give you your first cash in 6 to 8 weeks. Your layers won't give you a single egg until week 18 to 20. But when they start, they don't stop for 12 to 18 months. First broiler sale week 7. First eggs from layers week 18 to 20. Peak egg production week 24 to 50. Eggs per hen per year 250 to 280. James's 20 broilers reached 2.1 kilograms average by week 7. He sold them live at $3.20 per bird, netting $64, which he immediately reinvested in a second batch of 20 chicks. This rolling broiler strategy means he always has a batch coming and a batch going. By month 6, broilers alone were generating $60 to $80 every 7 weeks. But the real engine of his income was the layers. Here's how the egg math actually works. Number of layers 28, 2 losses expected, 27 survived. Production rate at peak 75%, 82%. Eggs per day at peak 21 eggs to 22 eggs. Eggs per week 147 eggs, 12 trays, to 154 eggs, 13 trays. Tray price 30 eggs, $3.50 to $4 direct sales. Weekly egg revenue $17.15 to $20.53. Monthly egg revenue $68.60 to $82.13. Annual egg revenue, 32 weeks of production, $549, $659. The difference between conservative and James's numbers? He sold direct to neighbors and a small restaurant instead of to a middleman market. Cutting out the middleman added 50 cents per tray. On 13 trays a week, that's $6.50 extra per week, or $208 extra per year. That's more than 40% of his initial $500 investment, recovered purely from selling smarter. This is the single most important sales insight in small-scale poultry. Your buyer matters as much as your bird. Now, let's put the whole year together. This is a complete profit and loss for James's first 12-month startup investment included. Let's look at where every dollar comes from. First, eggs. 27 hens, producing for 32 weeks, at 13 cents per egg. That one line alone brings in $659. Second, your broilers. For batches of 20 birds across the year, $64 clear profit per batch. That's $256. Third, and this is one people forget, your laying hens don't lay forever. At the end of the year, sell them as stewed chickens. $2.50 each, 27 hens. That's $68 you almost left on the table. Fourth, manure. Composted litter. Sold to 2 local garden centers. $45. Zero extra work. It was already sitting there. Add those 4 lines together. $659, $256, $68, $45, and your total annual revenue is $1,028. From 50 birds, from a backyard, from $500. Now the costs. 9 lines. Let's go through each one. Layer feed, your biggest expense. 27 hens eating every day for a full year. That's $230. You cannot cut this corner. Broiler feed for all 4 batches across the year, $86. Vaccination boosters. 1 Newcastle dose every 3 months for your layers. For doses, full year, just $22. That is the cheapest insurance you will ever buy. Vitamins and supplements, $18 for the year. Calcium for show quality. Stress doses after each vaccine. Medication. James had 1 respiratory outbreak. 1 treatment course. $24. That $90 buffer we kept at the start, this is exactly why. 3 more batches of broiler chicks. Remember, your first batch was already in the startup cost. 3 additional batches, $60. Bedding. Refresh 4 times a year, $16 total. Electricity. Brooding lamp for chicks, plus extended lighting for your layers. Longer light hours mean more eggs, up to 15% more production, worth every cent of the $30. And miscellaneous. Wire patches, water or parts. Disinfectant throughout the year, $20. 9 expenses. Add them all up, and your total annual operating cost is $506. Total revenue, year one, $1,028. Startup investment, minus $410. Operating costs, minus $506. Net year one profit, plus $112. Now, wait, $112 profit after a full year? That sounds underwhelming. And it would be if year one were the whole story. But here's what changes in year two. The housing is already built. The feeders are paid for. The drinkers are paid for. Your startup cost drops from $410 to essentially zero. In year two, same flock size, same operation, James's net profit jumped to over $2,400 because he was no longer paying to build. He was only paying to operate. Year one is not the investment phase. Year one is a learning phase. The money isn't everything that comes after. Every farmer who succeeds past the first year will tell you the same thing. The hardest part isn't the money. It's the discipline to keep going when the numbers are still small. Modern technology spotlight. Automatic egg collector / layer management app in month 3. James downloaded a free poultry farm management app, Poultry Pro or Chick Deck, both available on Android. He logged daily egg count, feed bags used, and any sick birds. Within 4 weeks, the app flagged that the production rate dropped every time he switched feed bags, pointing to inconsistency in feed quality from a supplier. He switched suppliers, and his weekly egg count went from 147 to 154. That single data-driven decision added $208 per year. This is the power of record keeping, automated. You don't need expensive software. Even a basic Google Sheet works. But you must track every day. I built a free farm tracking spreadsheet, the exact one James used to go from guessing to knowing. Link is in the description. Download it before this video ends, because you'll want it open while we go through these numbers. James started with $500 and one envelope. In year two, he used his profits to expand to 80 layers and began selling to a small hotel. In year three, he hired one part-time helper and registered his farm as a legal business. He did not start with land. He did not start with experience. He started with $500, a plan, and a discipline to not quit in month 2. Here is your roadmap if you're starting today. Month 1 and 2, buy your chicks. Build your pen. Survive the brooding phase. Sell your first broiler batch. Month 3 through 5, maintain your vaccination schedule. Track your records. Reinvest broiler profits into chick repurchase. Month 5, your layers begin producing. Your weekly income starts. Do not spend it, yet reinvest it. Month 6 through 12, stabilize operations. Find your best buyer. Start saving for year 2 expansion. By this time next year, if you started today, you would have a functioning farm, 0 startup debt, and enough retained profit to double your flock size without borrowing a cent. James didn't get rich in year 1, but he built something no job could give him, a system that generates income while he sleeps. That's the real value of $500 invested right. If you found this useful, subscribe. We post a new farming deep dive every week. Next video, how to scale from 50 birds to 200 without a bank loan, using only your own profits. And drop a comment below. Are you started with layers, broilers, or both? I read every single one. This is your $500. Use it wisely.